Rise, Meg.
The Force will be with you.
Always.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Star Wars Meg, here with another Mandalorian Season 2 video. So Chapter 9, Episode 1 of Season 2 dropped yesterday, and I gave my thoughts in my extended full breakdown and review. In today's video, we're going to be looking at speculation and predictions for The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 2, also called Chapter 10. Now, we do have a little summary as to what the plot will be roughly about, and it states the Mandalorian must ferry a passenger with precious cargo on a risky journey. Now, not too much is revealed. In fact, this doesn't really give us any information at all, but we are probably going to see the planet we saw in the trailer, the water planet, which many people think is Mon Cala. Now, this brings me on to my first point, and it goes back to episode 1 that we saw yesterday. So a lot of people who were disappointed with the episode had the criticism that the pacing was slow and that we would just get Tatooine and there wasn't too much of the child. I think they've set it up that every episode, every chapter of season 2 is going to feel like its own full-length movie. And as such, the themes that we get in each episode are going to be vastly different. They're not going to be the same. So my first prediction for Season 2, Episode 2 is that we're going to get more of Baby Yoda the child. He played such a minor role in Chapter 9, he only did some cute squeaks every now and then, but he was not central to the plot at all. And I've seen this criticism over and over on yesterday's video, that he wasn't involved, and why isn't he involved? Isn't this whole season supposed to be about him being brought back to the Jedi? It is, but they're setting up the plot in a way where we're going to see different villains, different heroes in each episode, and the season will come together well, and the different plot points will tie in. And so this brings me on to my next prediction for episode 2. We're not going to see Boba Fett at all. They've set up the Tatooine plot so that Boba Fett is now looking for Djarin to get his armor back, and they're going to address that in a later episode. For now, like I say, we're going to go to a different planet, probably Mon Cala, and at Mon Cala we are going to see Djarin try to explore ways that he can contact the Jedi or even other Mandalorians. So my next prediction is that he's going to run into Sasha Banks' character. I refrain from saying Sabine Wren or an Imperial Inquisitor at this point, because we could be in for a huge shock. She could be a completely different Jedi. I've even seen theories that she is Eth Koth's daughter from the prequel trilogy and the Clone Wars. But either way, I predict that we will get Sasha Banks' character. Now, she might be a lobbying character in that she might not be very important at all, and she might be setting up a bigger character like Ahsoka Tano in Chapter 11, Episode 3. But if she is a significant character, she might stay for a few episodes or link Mando to a different character, and, they all set out together on some big quest to find Baby Yoda's people, the enemy sorcerers, the Jedi. A further prediction I have for episode 2 is that he will not reunite with Greef Karga or Cara Dune just yet. Now, another criticism I've seen from episode 1 is that, where were these other heroes that we saw in season 1? They're coming. It just wasn't their episode. It wasn't their time yet. They're setting up something bigger, and I think if we trust Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, we'll see how this goes. I think after episode 3 of season 2, we'll get, kind of a bigger picture of how they're pacing the season, how they're lining things up for a bigger reveal later on. Or perhaps they're taking the route of every episode being its own thing. But either way, I believe that it will make more sense if we just trust them and go with it and see what it's like further down the line. But I cannot see him connecting with Greef Karga or Cara Dune just yet. I think they're slowly building up to that. And now my final prediction, and this one is a big one, and it's more speculation than a prediction in and of itself, but I'd like to see it. It's more something I'd like to see rather than something that might concretely make itself manifest. I'd like to see a huge cameo of a Jedi, and I think Mon Cala is the perfect setup for Luke Skywalker. So episode 1 showed us that they're not shy in terms of going into expanded universe and some deep Star Wars lore. Now, there is a link between Luke Skywalker and Mon Cala, so I'm going to talk to you about the importance of the planet now. So if you think back to the first Mandalorian Season 2 trailer, at the beginning we see the Razor Crest heavily damaged and barely making its way to an unknown planet in the distance. So taking into account the Quarrens that appear later in the trailer with Mando and Baby Yoda, then travelling by boat across an ocean, it's very plausible that the planet is Mon Cala, the homeworld of the Mon Calamari, such as Admiral Akbar and the Quarren. So both aquatic species first appeared in Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, but the most famous character is, of course, Akbar. And he is someone who fought with the Rebellion and later the Resistance. So although a relatively unknown planet to casual Star Wars fans, I would say, Mon Cala has always played an integral role in galactic politics. If we start with the Clone Wars, Mon Cala devolved into a civil war between the Mon Calamari species and the Quarren, whose efforts were being backed by the Separatist leaders. So the Republic and the Jedi decided to intervene, and then years later Mon Cala allied with the rebellion against the Empire, with Admiral Akbar fighting in the Battle of Endor. So what's interesting is that while Mon Cala has had an important, if not masked presence in the Star Wars saga, it's unclear what role it could play in The Mandalorian Season 2. Perhaps Mando and Baby Yoda only land on Mon Cala to seek refuge and repair their ship just like they did in Chapter 9, or perhaps they heard about Luke Skywalker and are backtracking to the main Alliance worlds. Regardless of the story reason though, longtime Star Wars fans will appreciate seeing Mon Cala in live action for the first time, not to mention seeing the Quarren's way of life. Mon Cala itself has rarely been explored outside of the comics, with only one major storyline in the Clone Wars. Now here's the thing, it's not too far-fetched to say that Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau would not include Mon Cala and the whole story with the rebellion, especially with regards to Luke and Leia. I haven't seen this mentioned much, but in my opinion, Chapter 9 was a real statement to Star Wars fans who love the franchise, who perhaps were not pleased with the sequels, and Jon Favreau, because that was his episode yesterday, but also Dave Filoni and everyone who works on the show, they put out a statement that said, look, we know what you want, and you like it when we drop Easter eggs that go deep into Star Wars lore, and yesterday was full of them. And that is my argument why I think it's very possible we could get either Leia Organa or Luke Skywalker appear on Mon Cala. I for one would absolutely love to see a cameo of Luke or Leia, or a huge Jedi figure that we know either from the comics, from canon, from the expanded universe. I think it's clear that we love the fan service, but of course you have to have a balance. But I do wholeheartedly believe that if we got Cobb Vanth and Boba Fett in episode 1, just think about the huge surprises that we have lined up for the rest of the season. So you guys let me know what you think in the comments down below. Please let me know your thoughts about what will appear in Chapter 10, and I will see you tomorrow. I'm Star Wars Meg, wishing you a fantastic rest of the day, no matter where you are in the galaxy. Have a good one.